Hi, second and third graders. It is time to use your creativity. I love this project because you are able to put yourself into it, the things that you like, places that you like, and those kind of things. I want your imagination to go wild during this project. You can pick either a fairy house, which is a teeny tiny little house that fairies live in, sometimes out in the woods, but today I'm going to show you how to make a house maybe for the tooth fairy. This is one that I created last semester that I haven't colored yet. This one's made out of a teapot and a teacup with a little slide going from one to the other. This is one that I did get colored, made out of an acorn top. And you can see how it's shaded a little darker on the sides, under the roof, to give it a little bit of depth. If you don't like fairies and fairy houses, that's okay. You can then pick a castle to do. Your castle can be kind of realistic looking, or it can be a fairy tale type castle. Again, I have shading on the outside, highlights on the front of all three of those curved forms. When I am doing this in my classroom, the kiddos use a stencil. I don't have those stencils at home, or you guys don't have those stencils. Ooh, too close. So you could use a bowl or a cup for your shapes of your houses like this. And also, this is gigantic because the paper is gigantic. Since we're at home, we're using littler paper. So yeah, I hope you like this project. I hope you enjoy the creativity with it, and also get a chance to use those techniques that we learned in our colored pencil or our regular pencil drawing, the worksheet we just did. All right, kiddos, if you want to use the bowl to make a cylindrical form, you are going to put it on your paper and you are going to trace the bottom of that bowl. And then if you want the same shape at the top, you do the same thing up there. Okay, and then I can do a straight line going up. And that's basically the same shape I have on that stencil. If you want, you can put that opposite arc on top, and then you have a cylinder that you can make your fairy house or castle out of there. And then I also could use my little cup to do the same sort of thing. This time I'm going to use the cup to make that top rounded. So that's a very, very quick way to make the castle. This is up way too high, but quickly showing you how to do that. You, of course, are going to take more time than what I just did on that. Okay. But I wanted to make a fairy house today, and I am going to start off with a cube form. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a tooth for my tooth fairy. I'm drawing really, really light until I know it's light, until I know it's right. So I'm using that 1 or 2, drawing with the back of my pencil. Okay. You probably can't even see that. I'm going to do this little rounded form here. Okay. and then go down and back up. And I would not do this right away. I would make my shape right away until I know that's what I like. Like, I press too hard because these don't match and I wanted them to match, but this will probably be too hard to erase all the way. Okay, so to make this a little more tooth-like, I'm gonna do an arc right here, and that's gonna be my tooth door. Okay, but I have to make this 3-dimensional so I can use my shading techniques. So I'm lightly making 2 lines on the top, and a line going this way, and a line going down. And this line matches this line is going to match this line. And that's how I get it to look 3-dimensional. And again, I am going to make this look a little more tooth-like by making the line curved like it's the top of your molar. Okay. And I am going to just leave this side over here. What am I gonna do with this? I don't know. I'm gonna play with it, I guess, to make it look a little tooth-like. Maybe make that into a window. So here's my door. I'm gonna put some shading going on up here because my tooth is not flat on top. And I'll also play with that with the colored pencils. Okay, I'm going to put a little more details in my door, maybe a little half window here. This line, since it's going back, is going to match that line at the bottom and also at the top. And I'm just going to keep playing around with my design. Until I get it right. Okay, I need a lot more details on that. Just like in this one, I put so many details, even around my heart in here. I added little flowers. There's flowers in my welcome sign. Flowers all around here. This one's a little bit more dainty than my tooth fairy is gonna have to have because she is very strong. Because she lifts your tooth, brings your tooth home with her. So she's not gonna have this little dainty little thing. But I also need to have a background. At a minimum, it needs to have a horizon line. The horizon line is where the ground meets the sky. Okay, and then maybe in here I have this walkway. Maybe in the walkway I put some teeth as stepping stones. I could put some dirt in here. I could put some flowers in here. Maybe I have her flying up high in the sky. You can do whatever details you want to. So that's basically how you start a cube square or a cube fairy house, or if you want a more cylindrical house. I am going to start coloring this one in for you, but I want you to get the idea on how I'm going to make my teapot more symmetrical or more popping out, more three-dimensional. All right, kiddos, there are two different ways to color this project to make your pictures look three-dimensional. The way that I am showing you now is by using darker colors for shadows and lighter colors for highlights. You want to figure out where your light source is. In our worksheet, I had the light bulb as our light source. So you just have to figure out where you want the sun to be in this project. I did not draw a sun, so when I'm coloring in, I had to decide where I wanted the darks and where I wanted the lights. So I have darks on the left side of my cup and the left side of my teapot. I have the lighter, whiter colors on the right side of the teapot and the cup. In the background, I use different colors in the rocks to show depth. And also, since the flowers are kind of shading where the rocks are, I put the shadows a little differently back there. But I want you to pay attention to where my dark colors are, where my light colors are, to see where the shadows are. The second option is seen at the end of the video. I have a picture of the castle that I have already colored in. And I did that one by using pencil pressure like we did in our worksheet a couple days ago. So I want you to check that one out as well. So on the castle, I put the pencil pressure at like an 8, where it is the darkest, where the shadows are, and a 1 or a 2 where the highlights are. So for this project, I want you to decide which technique you're going to use before you color. Enjoy, have fun, and see what you can do to make things pop. You're going to notice that I switched my coloring materials off and on in this project. I am currently using what are called art sticks, and art sticks are basically colored pencils without the wood surrounding them, so I don't have to sharpen them as much. They might look like crayons, but if you have been in an actual art class at West Ottawa, you have used these art sticks. So they look like colored pencils when I'm coloring them in. Um, it doesn't change the look. I don't have crayons in some spots and colored pencils in other spots. And they also blend like colored pencils. You'll notice that I do a lot of layering techniques, so I put a lot of different colors in one spot. Like the door, I just put the dark green on top of the light green. In the leaves, I put dark green in the veins. I pressed really, really hard, and then I am also pressing really light on the outside of the leaves, just like we did in some of our other projects and will do in more of our projects coming up. So now I'm putting a light green, pressing pretty hard on the light green to blend that dark green and light green together. And I'll do the same in the flowers where I put some color where I want the veins and the shadows to be, and then color it all in with white to blend those colors. And the rocks, again, I am doing like scribble lines or circle lines, loop-de-loop-de-loos with like 3 or 4 different colors, just to show that a rock is not a single color. There are tons of different colors in a rock. And so I want it to look a little more realistic. We learned at the beginning of the year, realistic versus abstract. So by using lots of different colors and coloring them kind of all sorts of different directions, that gives it a more realistic look. And when all my coloring is all said and done, I am going back with a black color pencil and going over where my pencil lines were at the beginning, those Sharpie lines, just to make those stand out even more and make the picture pop.